I'm upset.
Committed.
The maniac. Good evening, good people. It is I, the Maize Madman. I'm upset. All right, good evening, good people. It is I, the Maize Madman. I'm here with my guy,
The maniac.
and of course,
Kinetic.
yeah. First of all, I want to apologize to everybody. You can imagine what I was doing. I was playing the latest college football game.
I already told everyone. I tried to call you, but was told you were on the other line with Fran Brown.
Right. Because we got to hash some things out. But anyway, we are here now. Thank you for your patience. But yeah, we got some things to talk about, gentlemen. It was a good weekend. All right, everybody enjoyed their festivities. Got to see some fireworks, pop off some fireworks if that's your thing. The maniac. By the way, we had Johnny stand in as the maniac. I'm not sure if y'all saw that a couple.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
But yeah,
Shout
so
out to Johnny though.
Absolutely, and it's not just fireworks that you guys got to see yourselves this weekend or wherever you were, but there was also some recruiting fireworks. We'll start with the good stuff. Michigan picked up 2 4-stars over this weekend in Dorian Barney and Travis Johnson. I obviously interviewed Travis Johnson's mom right here on the channel. Very lovely lady. And then Dorian Barney ends up being kind of a replacement in a way, but also an elite recruit in his own right. Cornerback out of Georgia, I believe.
Yes.
Out of Georgia. Had a really cool, commitment outside of leaving the phone,
Dude, hey, shout out to who was a Wolverine casual or someone that posted the graphic of Dorian Barney commits to Michigan, and it's just a picture of his shed with nobody in front of it.
Yeah. No, that was excellent. But shout out to him. Great young man. Anyway, but then, gentlemen, Michigan lost Brody Jennings. That was to be expected. I think Michigan fans have just been waiting for that final nail to drop or whatever. But in an unexpected twist, 5-star wide receiver Calvin Russell chooses Syracuse over the Wolverines, which caused some Wolverines to lose their mind. That's another story for another day. But let's talk about it, gentlemen. How'd you feel?
Yeah, Kinetic.
So a couple things, man. I think it's cool that we got Dorian Barney. I hope he sticks with the class. His track record, commitments, decommits, it's kind of, it is what it is. But if we can get him to stick in the class, I think he's a good talent. Travis Johnson, A+ talent. I think he's going to be a wide receiver 1 at Michigan. He's going to show out. He's going to be a favorite target of Bryce, if not, his first year, definitely his sophomore year. The thing with Dorian Barney's commitment, I was listening to I think it was Wilt Fong and EJ Holland talking about it, and it was so weird because I guess they did a dry run of the commitment video, what he was gonna do 30 minutes earlier, and he was like, no, I'm just gonna put a hat on, I'm not gonna do anything crazy or whatever. They did the dry run, and then he randomly puts a hat on that I'm not even sure was a Michigan hat.
I think he said Penn State initially, right?
And it looked like a Penn State hat, but we couldn't tell. And then he just gets up and walks off screen, and you're thinking maybe he's going around to be better in the shot better or something. But no, he just never comes back. And then everyone starts like following him off camera. And you hear a bunch of people yelling and stuff, but you can't tell what's going on. And then eventually we got the backstage footage, and he's not even wearing the hat. So we still don't know what hat he put on. But then like the way he lifted the garage door and the graphic that printed out. First of all, he then told Wiltfong that it was a super last minute change of plans.
Mm-hmm.
If that was a last minute change of plans, how did you have time to print out a 10-foot tall tapestry and hide it in the garage and prepare for that? That wasn't last minute.
Well, I think that that's like one of those things that you put out in your yard. So maybe they did have that. Maybe the idea to put it in the garage and do that like grand opening thing or grand entrance was kind of last minute. But that's one of those things when your kid graduates, from wherever school they're going to, you put that out in your front yard. So, we've seen that sort of thing before. But definitely, it was a little plan.
It was crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. We went 2 for 3 this weekend, right? But the main commit everyone is here to talk about. Yo, hold on, man. This is the best team. This is for my job, man. My boss gave me this. Because she know the maniac get busy at work, too.
Shout out to Blue Wolverine.
Blue Wolverine. Shout to Blue Wolverine.
Don't ever disrespect me drinking from someone's grandmother's favorite coffee mug.
From the abuelita's cup.
Right.
So, Calvin Russell, obviously, me, you, and Johnny did a live for his commitment. Now, for those Michigan fans, for those opposing fans, who think that was the end be all for Michigan, bro, it wasn't. Now, let's be clear here. Did I want Russell in this class? Absolutely did want him in the class. Was he a must get? No, he wasn't a must get, but he would have been a huge addition. We could say what we want. We could question his personality. We could question his character. We could question many things, but we can't question his talent. The guy is an A1 talent, but it's not the end of the world. I think we had spoke about it. If we didn't land someone like Bryce Underwood, that would have really, really hurt us, because Underwood is a generational talent, a player that from the set, he's going to be somebody special. So Russell, again, it does hurt, but it's like, all right, cool. We move on. And what's crazy is, before I let y'all get in the kitchen, the rumor was Michigan, on Michigan's side, they confused. They said, bro, this was in the bag. We worked out a deal for him, a nice deal. We thought he was going to choose Michigan. The fact that delay, that quote unquote stuck in traffic, there was something last minute, man, that to me deterred his decision. But hey, look, shout to the kid. I wish him nothing but luck. And he should ball out in Syracuse. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, the thing, okay. What people got to remember is that we've had, from my understanding, we've had Jalen Powell in the class for a long time, and we had silent commits from Zion and Travis both for quite a while. The coaching staff, they were happy with those 3 receivers in the class. And I don't think that they planned on taking a 4th receiver. The thing with Calvin Russell happened really late in the recruitment, and it became a thing that, hey, we'll make an exception for him. I think there's one other receiver they'd make an exception for, but I don't think that their plan was to go after a 4th receiver. The thing with Russell, he's got crazy physical attributes and crazy high potential. But Travis Johnson's a better receiver today, right now, than Calvin Russell is. He's a more polished receiver today, more production on the field that you can see on film. Calvin Russell wasn't even wide receiver 1 at his high school. His star status is completely from his projection of what he could be, right? So I'm fine with us not getting him. And the more that I've learned from different sources, like not my personal sources, but like message boards, insider stuff that's gotten out about what happened, I don't even want us to keep trying to flip him, to be honest. I'm thinking we might have dodged a bullet. you look at the character of all the kids in the class that we have this year, the character of the kids we had in last year's class. He very much seems like a diva, like an all about me player. He comes in the whole like stuck in traffic, the tweeting out, I'm not committed to anyone. The way he, like, it was really weird going into his commitment because like 2 weeks ago, I remember hearing from someone that it was us in Syracuse. And then I don't know if it was on the call-in show we had recently or if it was on TJ's show or something, but there was a show where Juju was on and we were talking about Calvin Russell and I said it's between us and Syracuse. And he said, well, Syracuse isn't in it anymore. It's us and Florida State and Oregon. And I was like, no, I think Syracuse is still in it from what I'm hearing. And then he tells On3 or whoever that he's down to his final 3 and he leaves Syracuse out. But then you watch EJ Holland's recruiting Q&A like the next day or something, and he's saying, I know that's what they're saying, but I just talked to him and he told me Syracuse is still in it. And it was just this weird like thing where like different information was getting out to different people, and it felt like it was like a game. You know what I'm saying? And then leading into his commitment with the stuck in traffic and all of that, it just felt like he was playing a game. He kept everyone waiting for an hour, and got something like a couple 100,000 new followers on Instagram because people were waiting for him to show up and trying to follow and get updates from him. And to the guy in the chat, I'm not talking trash about the kid. He can, do what's best for him. I hope he balls out. I'm just saying what I've seen leaked out and what's been said from different places and different sources and how I feel after reading that stuff. I hope he has a great career at Syracuse, but I personally, at this point, would rather, if we're going to try to flip a wide receiver late in the season, go after Tristan Keys. But I'm good on Russell.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not big on going down this kid and his their mental state or how they, if we dodged the bullet or not or whatever, right? Because we don't really know this guy. Like, sure, we had to wait an hour, but that really gave us a chance to, talk more about other things. And also it helped it was like 7,000 people immediately after, the views were like 7,000 immediately after we got off there. So that hour kind of helped everybody. It helped him. It helped people like us on these YouTube channels and whatever, right? So, that's the gift that keeps on giving with that. And also, we don't have nearly enough information about the kid to make those kinds of, condemnations or whatever, or even opine on it really. Now the people that are in those, EJ Holland and whoever else that are, have their opinion or post on their websites or whatever, sure, he might have talked to the kid or whatever, but even his opinion, he's not saying based on what the kid said, this is how I feel about the kid, right? Like nobody's really doing that.
Yeah. Also, and all I'm saying is how I feel after reading what's gotten out.
Sure. Also, there are people like Sam Webb who said, and by the way, in terms of being close to Michigan coaches, there's not another source closer than Sam Webb. EJ Holland can't step foot in the fucking building.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Sam Webb is very close. And he said that the coaches were not floored by this. He put out a post like almost immediately after and said that, and he had been saying up for that week leading up that he felt like Michigan was second to Syracuse. So, there are different opinions, but it really sounds like the people close to Michigan, the people that have access to Michigan coaches and staff, felt like that they were in a race and it wasn't, something that came up last minute. Now, granted, in terms of him making that decision and whether he was on the phone with Syracuse people or Michigan people on the way to, while he was stuck in traffic for an hour or whatever, who knows? But
no, to each his own. It started to feel like there was some dishonesty going in taking place in order to drive marketing. You know what I'm saying? To drive interest, to make the demand there. And then like you see things like where apparently he was telling other players and other people in the class literally on Saturday that he was committing to Michigan. There's a report out there that he told Bryce Underwood, who was his player host when he was on his visit, I'm committing to Michigan today. And then turns around and does that. It's like it just everything together. Like, listen, if Fran Brown called him at the last second, gave him a life-changing offer, and he decided to take it, more power to him. I'm just saying, when you look at everything together in the big picture, it seems like there was some dishonesty there.
Right. I think that's what you're going to see a lot in this day or age of college football. There's a lot of money involved, guys. A lot of money. So you're gonna see dishonesty. These are young kids, man. They still come on. Especially when you come from the mud, bro. You going with the biggest bag is, right? But anyway, again, shout to him. We respect him. We respect his decision. Syracuse, maybe this is the beginning of something big for them. We don't know. Only time will tell. Savion Hyder. When is he making his decision? Is there a decision date? How is Michigan looking with Hyder right now? Because
there's no date.
That is a must get for us.
There's no date. He didn't meet like last week.
It's expected
like last week that he'll be having a date soon. Not even committing soon, but having a commitment date soon.
What's been put out there by guys that have talked to him is that it's expected sometime before the start of the high school season. So that would be, middle to late August probably. But he has not put out a date.
But in terms of where Michigan stands with Hyder, I think they feel good about where they stand. But everything that I've read about Tennessee leads me to believe they feel good about where they stand too. So
yeah, if you believe the guys over on one of the shows that Garrison was on, they believe they're in the lead for him.
The other state,
yeah,
I don't believe that, but like you said, to each their own. Who knows? Maybe he's stuck in traffic for an hour and picks Ohio State. I don't know. But anything's possible at this point. I need the Kevin Garnett joint. Anything's possible.
Hey, you talking about when he messed it up when he was trying to say like the slogan for
going to Disney World? Yeah, anything's possible. So anything's possible, bro.
How many recruits Michigan is taking in this class?
I think they take somewhere like 20. I think they're at like.
What are we at now? We're like 24, 25?
Like 23, 24.
We can find
somebody
out.
In the chat. Somebody in the chat get the number for us. How many recruits we already have committed to Michigan? And now here comes, I know I mentioned this before, but keeping players in the class, right?
Michigan has 20 commits right now.
20.
I thought we had more.
Yeah.
Me too. All right. So we have about 6 more maybe?
Well, who do we know that's still on the board? So Devon Benjamin, I think that we're going heavy after him. I think we're going to start focusing on, of course, Hyder. I think we're going to start focusing on linebackers a little bit now, although I'm not sure who we're targeting. But I know like Fortpa and Rouse and Nick Abram. I'm gonna let you deal with that. I dealt with that last night. So
all right, I saw. So I woke up again. You saw my tweet this morning. Anybody that follows me on Twitter, you saw my tweet this morning. First Richard Pryor gonna burn up. Nike and Tina Turner break up, and I wake up to more bull. But anyway, there was, that whole thing stemmed from the fallout from a certain 5-star choosing Syracuse.
It stemmed from someone not being able to take a joke on social media.
Absolutely.
And getting offended.
And then, a certain someone who's heavy in these chats. He's a moderator on Voice of College Football. He used to be a moderator here, but changes were made. Anyway, he's a moderator over there. I'm sure he feels like, what, I'm not going to dig into that. What I will say is this. He made a choice that night to say some things that he probably shouldn't have said. But he stood on it until he deleted the tweets. And then I had a funny kind of thing to say about it. And he didn't like it. And we are where we are now, which is fine with me. I'm okay with it. But we'll leave that there. I'm not going to say no names. Everybody probably can decipher who I'm talking about. They probably know who I'm talking about. But, that's for...
Well,
that's
whatever. This isn't the first time either. Like so back, I don't remember what it was that happened, but I do remember what it was. It was when all the stuff happened with Burks and
Ryan Scalzo. It was Moose.
You made that beginning of the show like rant, and you didn't name him, right?
Yeah.
And that night, Moose came at me because he thought you were talking to him that night,
which is weird. I wasn't, and that night I was not talking about him.
Yeah, and so this isn't the first time he's had a crash out over you
on this channel, but yeah.
But yeah, like it was so stupid. It's like I tried to tell him last night, like, dude, it's a social media post, it's a joke. Social media public posts are for jokes. Don't get offended. If he had an issue, he would have added you. He would have messaged you. If you got a problem, message him. Don't do it here. And it's like, come on, dude.
Well, my grandmother used to say this thing, a hit dog will holler. And he was certainly hollering on social media. Shout out to him, though. All right, guys, I don't want to bring the live down by talking about him. Peace to him, though. I hope he's doing well. Anyway, gentlemen, speaking of the class, some big names still out there for Michigan to get. Obviously, we talked about Savion Hyder. He's still out there. Deuce Gerald's is still out there.
Yeah, but I don't know if we're taking another D lineman.
I think they would take Deuce Gerald's, by the way.
Yeah,
shout out
to they probably would, but
Towns Health Center.
We've already got what,
$200. So I appreciate you. We still always. Again, we are willing to do work for this $200.
I'm going to take this moment to link my GoFundMe.
I think the huge club scene said it all. That was chaotic. That was kind of crazy. I don't know what that was, by the way. There's a lot of kids in there. I'm guessing.
And it wasn't a club. It was like a gymnasium that was made to look like a club.
Which was cool. That was a good. I mean, that was nice. I thought they did a good job because I thought it was a club, and I was asking other questions like, why are there so many kids here? And why is he allowed to be here? But so
it definitely looked like a club.
Wait, you mean there are people Moose hasn't blocked? I have no clue.
Yeah. Hey, to Moose's credit, even all the back and forth him and I had last night, he has not blocked me. Unlike someone else that rhymes with Harrison.
Yeah. No clue who that could be, by the way. Shout out to Lich. Someone got to start taking something off. Yeah, I mean, if we.
Hey, quick update to what you were just saying. I did put this in the chat, but Braden Rouse does commit tomorrow. He just put out a post. We are in his top 4, although as it sits right now, I would say we're probably 3rd at best. But it's the NIL era. A lot can change in the last.
All right. So right now, any other linebackers on our board that Michigan is heavily pursuing?
Abrams, Rouse, and Fort Putt are the main targets. There's also a.
By the way, we're not first with any of them.
No, we're not. We're not first with any of those guys. And the only other one that I know of is that we offered a Liberty commit, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It's like Keatings or something.
Yeah, you listen. Shout out to BJM because I got some more information on him that made me temper how I was feeling about him and his recruiting this cycle. Apparently, the allocation of resources, we'll call it, isn't necessarily being funneled his way this cycle anyway, this time around. But I still feel like Michigan should be recruiting linebacker better than they are. And that's no slight to him. But he was brought here for this specific reason, really, right? Is his ability to recruit, especially in the South. And right now, It's been a lot to be desired to this point.
Right.
Correct. And that's important, man. You know, Michigan, one of their biggest strengths during that run we had these last 4 years is linebacker play, along with strong defensive line play. So we need to continue that trend because, you know, Hausman is gone after the season and we lose a lot.
So,
I know.
So is Barham.
There you go. I know Antoine. We are crowded on the D line, Antoine. I agree with you. I'm not going to disagree. I would definitely want a linebacker, but we are going to lose about 5, 6, maybe 7 defensive linemen after the season. A lot of departure, a lot of D linemen going out the door after the season. So, shit. If we can't get a linebacker and another D lineman, I'm going to take it. But I agree. I'd rather go linebacker. You know, we got dogs, but I need some more athleticism in that room.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, shout out to my guy G Boulder, man. I got a text just now from G. Shout out to him. I was in another. I think we were waiting for the Dorian Barney commitment, and G was in there because I was trying to get the footage or whatever. And we talked a little bit. G does watch. He's watching. So shout out to G.
That's true, Dom.
Oh shit.
That's true.
My bad, Johnny. Nah. I'm gonna take care of that right now.
I just bought, and I got an order coming, a new Michigan hat and Maize. I got this fire bucket coming.
Woo. Oh, word. Hey, and then we can really be the bucket boys.
The bucket boys, baby.
Right.
Hey, Kinetic, you need to get a bucket. We're gonna be the bucket boys. You're gonna join the bucket boys.
When I get the extra money to be able to spend on stuff like that, I'll happily get one.
Bucket.
And by the way,
if anyone wants to buy one and send it to me, let me know.
Maniac is also part of another tandem, the Terror Twins. So, him and Steven, part of the Terror Twins.
Steven.
Yeah.
Yesterday in Johnny's kitchen, they got fuego.
Oh,
but
man,
that's how it gets,
crazy,
man. Anyone who hasn't been to Johnny's chats on Sundays, man, those chats, I mean, that show is specifically for everyone. You know, the link is always in the chat. You come up, do what you got to do.
You know what we need, Maize?
Yeah.
Remember the Mighty Ducks movies?
Yeah, I love
the Bash Brothers. We need some clips of the Bash Brothers with Maniac and Steven's faces on them.
Facts. We gonna get it together.
Yeah, I love them. And maybe the Harrison dude that I mentioned earlier's face on their victim.
Yo, so shout out to DJ. Yeah, I know, man. The point, and I didn't mean to because I did say, you know, he was brought here to do this thing. But it does make it hard to do the job when, you know, the resources aren't there for you to do the job. So that's a good point, DJ, and good catch. We can't talk out both sides of our mouths for sure. Y'all had Jackson Johnson nerve. Jackson was up there. Were you there when he got on Maniac?
Yeah, that's my yeah. We were there. He spoke on the He felt that Fran Brown was a better coach than Sherrone Moore. And you guys made good points, you and Johnny. No, Kinetic wasn't there. And you know, it's true, it's hard to assess coaches. Like, you know, we gave you your flowers, Kinetic, regarding Wink Martindale. The Sherrone Moore, I knew was his first year. So when we weren't looking good, I was like, no, I wasn't on that fire Sherrone Moore. I was kind of like, yo, if this is going to be the Wink we going to get for 12 games, then we don't need him. But then he proved us wrong. Like, I'll be the first to admit I was upset with Wink. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, Kinetic, you was the one. Give him time. But you do that with all the coaches anyway, so it's all good.
No, I never did that. I never did that with Kurt Campbell. I said
no, we do that. There was no way.
I said it was specifically Sherrone and Wink. Those are the ones I defended last year. And to be honest, a lot of my confidence in Wink was because I was a fan of his from the Ravens, the Ray Lewis, the Terrence Cody, Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed Ravens defense. I love that defense. So I was kind of hoping as part of that confidence. But
I actually talking about linebackers, Cole Sullivan. My goodness, we were there live.
Yeah.
Antoine,
He looked
shout
like
to
he
you.
eats people.
Yo, bro, he eat trespassers. I don't know what they feed this dude, man.
Crazy, bro.
This dude puts gunpowder on his bacon, egg, and cheese. This guy is just hang, hoom.
Yeah, bro.
He's an animal, bro. He's just a force there. So, now the question becomes is he has the physique. Does he have, the mind? Does he have the IQ to play the linebacker position? So we're gonna see.
No doubt.
So we're gonna see.
Shout out to Dexter Green too.
Yeah.
Dexter Green,
Frab Brown.
my guy.
What?
First of all,
what's
shout
his
out to
name?
everybody in
Frab
the
Brown.
chat.
Frab. You know Frab. Good catch, because I did not know we called him Frab.
But okay, listen. Shout out to Jackson Johnson. He's a great dude. He's had me on his show. Great dude. I love talking football with him. He's got a mind like an encyclopedia. You ask him what happened in a game on a specific date 37 years ago, he can tell you.
He's good.
Insane.
I like him.
But he's wrong on this. Fran Brown's more experienced. Sherrone's a better coach.
Yeah. And to be and just to be fair across the board, the jury's still out on both guys. Let's call it like it is, right? This is why this season is very crucial for Sherrone Moore, right? Because now, Kinetic, the same reasons why you said, listen, you got to give him a chance. And those were legitimate reasons. He had last minute, he had to hire these guys. Like, he couldn't really look for them. Now, everyone is pretty much the same, right? With the exception of the OC. And now he gets one of the better OCs in all of college football. And he's an old offensive mind himself. So it should be fun in that offensive room when they have their meetings. Now all the coaches, linebacker coach, defensive coordinator, D-line coach, tight end coach, everybody is coming back. And we do have a lot of players coming back. So if Sherrone just could get us to the playoffs this season and beat Ohio State for the 5th time, we'll take it. But even if he loses to Ohio State and we still make the playoffs, I think that's a huge improvement. Because guess what that means, gentlemen? If you're in the playoffs, you're playing for the national championship. It doesn't matter what the record is once you get to the playoffs. What matters is what you do once you're there. So I'll take my chances, but I don't want to lose to OSU. Hell no.
No doubt. Shout out to Magnetic. Thank you for the $10 super chat. He says there's only one JJ around here, and that's JJ McCarthy. The only JJ we acknowledge is McCarthy. Shout out to Magnetic. One thing I do want to talk. Okay, so here we go. Sherrone Moore chat. Y'all let us know too. I know this is gonna be heavy one-sided in the chat because this is a Michigan show. Sherrone Moore, Fran Brown. I do want to, just to play devil's advocate, I'm going to point out some of Fran Brown's points for him. All right. Number one, he had the number one offense, I think, in all of college football last year. Now, granted, he's the head coach, so his offensive coordinator technically had it, but he's the head coach of the number one offense in football last year.
Let's remember it was in the ACC, though. No,
absolutely. He turned the Honda McCord into Maserati McCord, at least for a few weeks last season. Something Ryan Day couldn't unlock.
He balled out.
Shout out to that. And yeah, so there's that. And he had a 1,000-yard receiver, something that Michigan definitely didn't have last year. Hell, I don't know if the quarterbacks combined threw 4,000 yards. No, that's neither here nor there.
I mean, even the traditionally good teams in the ACC had a bad year last year. So
yeah, absolutely. I think Syracuse went 10-3, and for Syracuse, that's a big deal. 10-3 is a very good record for Syracuse.
Well, who are the other big schools in the ACC, and what did they do last year? Florida State, Miami.
Well, Florida State, we know, fell on their face.
Good one. Clemson was the only good one.
Miami was good. They were a fringe playoff team last year. Miami.
Yeah,
they
started off hot. They were like 9-0.
The ACC got two teams into the
SMU and Clemson.
Yeah. So 10-3. Granted, it was the ACC. I do think Syracuse would have probably beaten Indiana. We can debate that back and forth, but that might be a thing.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
So
these are the teams they beat last year: Ohio, Georgia Tech, Stanford, Holy Cross, UNLV, NC State, Pitt, Virginia Tech, who had a bad year and also lost to Vanderbilt, Boston College, Cal, UConn, Miami, and Washington State.
That Miami win is a good win. The league sucks. Let's be honest.
But they lost to Boston College and Pitt. And
I thought you said they beat them.
No, that's who they played. So all the teams
they lost to Stanford. If they lost to Stanford,
they lost to Stanford.
You got to lose 1,000 points.
And Boston College.
All right, who was the three that beat them?
Boston College, Pitt, and Stanford.
Oh, Pitt and Stanford.
I forgot 1,000 points for losing.
Stanford's in the ACC. It just sounds weird.
Stanford and Cal. Stanford and Cal both.
Stanford, Cal, SMU.
They literally are on the Pacific Coast, and they're in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
But they are much better than Stanford right now.
Yeah. So, look, regardless, right? It's true, Kinetic. You're 100% correct. Competition does matter. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But he still went 10-3, right? That's what matters. But now, season 2, he don't got McCord, an experienced quarterback. We're going to see what he's going to do. Again, with Davis Warren, with Alex Orji, and with Jack Tuttle, we found a way to win 8 games. I don't know how we did it, but we did it. Now he got a Bugatti. He got a Maserati, whatever you want to call Bryce. He is a foreign car. That's for a fact. We don't got a broken down Toyota.
No way Michigan was going to overpay Russell with the number 1 on their board, still uncommitted. Hyder's the priority. Tennessee does not BS with NIL. Russell's price could have affected Hyder. I mean,
true.
Hey, that's a fact. That could be the truth for sure.
Point.
I'm not saying Fran Brown's a bad coach. I just think Sherrone's a better coach than him.
I agree. I think
I like Sherrone, Fran Brown,
and not because he's our coach. I just saw at the end.
To be honest with y'all, this sounds a little biased.
I know it's gonna sound biased, but I'm gonna tell you why. I don't know. Well, I'm saying Sherrone Moore is gonna be a good coach. Does that mean he becomes better than Fran Brown, better than this coach? I don't know. What I know is that what Sherrone Moore showed, he showed growth through the season, man.
That's a fact.
And remember, the season is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So at the end of the race, yes, he didn't finish first in the marathon, but when he crossed that finish line, whatever place we were in, he looked in shape, he looked ready, mentally, physically. And that momentum is going to carry on to this season, man. Hence why we're expecting big things from this team, bro. We're not taking 10-2 should be at worst. That's it.
Listen, I'm not going to deny that there's some bias here. But here's the difference I've noticed with me and a lot of people. And, this doesn't mean that I'm more right than you if you think the other way. I don't equate experience to being better. If that was the case, Bill Belichick's the best football coach in college football right now. If you're going to say experience makes you better. When I say a coach is a better coach, I'm saying if I had to choose this coach or that coach today going forward to coach my team this year, that's who I would want this year. And it doesn't matter if one's got 6 months experience and the other's got 20 years. If I would rather take the guy with 6 months experience today, I'm going to say I think he's a better coach. And I think that Sherrone Moore is a better coach. If you gave me the choice of Sherrone Moore and Fran Brown based on what I've seen from both of them going into this next year, I'm saying that the stock on Sherrone Moore is going to go higher than the one on Fran Brown. That's what I'm buying into.
And in his first season as head coach, he had a gauntlet of a schedule he had to go through on top of that.
Yeah. No. Listen, he's already got better wins than, the Ohio State win and the Alabama win. Better wins.
He had better wins to his credit before he even became the head coach.
Yeah, but I don't think he got credit for those wins. I think those go on Jim's resume.
I don't care what it says on the resume. I'm saying we all watched it.
I mean, sure. But either way, right? I'm not even, Fran's experience isn't even like the thing that I was giving him, because I think he was a first-year head coach too, right? Last year.
Maize, put up GG Dope. GG Dope's comment.
I feel like OSU paid Calvin Russell to go to Syracuse.
OSU's footing half of the NIL bill.
Right.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's like one of them. It's like one of them deals in the NFL or MLB where you trade someone. You're like, listen, we'll still pay half the contract.
Yes.
Y'all just take it.
Yeah. What didn't Texas had to pay, or the Yankees had to pay that Alex Rodriguez contract? I believe he signed with Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like last year in the NFL, the Denver Broncos were paying like 90% of Russell Wilson's contract while he played for the Steelers.
That's crazy, bro. Crazy. Shout out to G. He said Moore was born on second base. In all honesty, we won't know, but we love our coach. That's a fact. I mean, at the end of the day, we go on the bat for our guy.
He was born on second base, but had a whole lot of crappy hitters behind him.
Well, I think that's why he got second base and not third base, because he did have to. I think Antoine brought it up too. Kinetic, you've brought it up before. He had to change a lot in a short amount of time.
And he had a bare cupboard because of the lackluster recruiting for the last two or three cycles.
Well, I don't know if the cupboard wasn't bare, but
it wasn't fully bare.
Depth-wise,
that quarterback room was bare.
The quarterback room was nasty.
Quarterback room, the wide receiver room. There wasn't a lot of depth on offensive line. There wasn't a lot of depth at a lot of positions.
Well, I don't know if the wide receiver room is technically bare, bro. Fred Moore and Amarian. Well, the guy doesn't play, Amarian Stewart, but both of those guys are 4 stars. Now Samaj was a 3-star.
We had
I wasn't
the tight ends, all of those guys are
saying in the
4-star.
chat. Yeah. I'm not saying our players were bad. I'm saying the depth wasn't there. The high-end depth was not there. And if you don't believe me, just go back and look at the recruiting classes from Harbaugh's last couple of years. I'm not saying they were bad, but there wasn't a lot of high-end depth.
My guy E is here. Shout out to
E. What up, champ?
He had one used red solo cut with a crack in it for his quarterback.
Yeah, that was bad. But you know what, Maize? To your point, right? You mentioned it. We were lied to, because from what we were hearing, the quarterback room has no issues. And I hope that Sherrone Moore learned from that. Be honest with yourself, bro. Like, you don't have to put down your players, but you got to say, we're working on it. It's still a competition. And while you're saying that, behind closed doors, you and your coaching staff is like, let's get a freaking quarterback in here ASAP. Because we saw what happened, bro. And that was bad.
Shout out to DJ Tut, bro. He said, we had 3 quarterbacks last fall that couldn't stand on the surf with waves hitting their knees and throw a beach ball in the ocean. You understand how inept you gotta be if the waves are hitting your knees?
I'm gonna need y'all to stop disrespecting the Buckeye killer, Davis Warren.
Bro, stop calling him that. That man.
What does it say next to his name versus Ohio State as a starting QB?
We are not doing
bro. Answer the question. What does it say next to his name as a starting QB versus Ohio State?
Fortunate.
It says 1-0. No, Buckeye killer.
He is nobody's killer of anything except for time. Go ahead.
You ever saw the meme with that puppet dude? I don't know if he's from the Muppet Babies. How many yards Davis Warren threw against Alabama? Like 70?
I don't
Was
remember.
It 70?
It was more.
Yeah,
it was more than in the Ohio State game.
It was, but not by much. And the meme was like, let's say
he only played half a game because he tore his ACL.
The third quarter, like the mid-third quarter, he got hurt. And then Orgy came in. Find out how many yards he threw for in that Bama game. Well, the meme was like, wow, Michigan beat Alabama only throwing for 74 yards. That got to be a record. And then it's like OSU fans.
He threw for
73 yards, 1 touchdown.
73 yards. They said that has to be a record. And then the meme showing that little puppet as Ohio State fans like, Oh no, that's not a record. They beat us throwing 62 yards. So
Hey,
that's
come on,
Hey,
man.
bro. That
look at what
alone.
Sly said. Look at what Sly said.
Let's slice it.
The Buckeye killer.
Man, if Davis Warren plays in the game again this year and wins with 60 yards
Getting the
passes,
stat.
2 interceptions, he's getting a statue. Hey, I would champion that. We would start a petition for the Davis Warren statue.
And
if he
it
did
needs
this
and
again.
it needs to say the Buckeye killer on there if he goes 2-0
Buckeye
against
killer, right?
Yo, bro, you can't. And this is why what the OSU fans don't understand was the circumstances, right? Michigan was already had an atrocious offense last season, and the best player, even if we had him playing, we still was gonna be a heavy underdog. But he didn't play. Poston Lovely. I was like, bro, if we had any little chance,
and neither did Will
it's
Johnson.
over. He didn't even play. I know. Then on the defensive side, all those receivers, J.J. Smith is over for you guys. No Will Johnson. If I would have told you we held them to 5 catches, 35 yards, a touchdown that should have been offensive interference without Will Johnson, you would have slapped me and you would have told me stop talking ball. But we did.
How many weeks we got, gentlemen, before week 0?
Like 7.
7 weeks.
Yeah, like 7 weeks.
Is it 7 weeks? All right. So look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna, I guess, 4 weeks, 5 weeks before the season starts. So 2 weeks, we're gonna do the ACC top. We're gonna rank the ACC. We'll do that thing again. We'll do the what's the
last
other?
4
Big
weeks.
12, right? Last 4 weeks leading up.
Finish
to it with the Big 10, obviously.
Should we do a 5th week and do one for all the G5 conferences as well?
We don't care about Burger King, Tech, and the McDonald's.
I don't want to disrespect them, but we're not gonna.
All right, so the Big 12's out then, right?
No, they the.
Well, the ACC would actually. That's a good question. Who's better, the ACC or the Big 12? In your opinion?
That's up for debate. I'm gonna say the ACC.
I think the ACC probably got better.
Yeah,
they a little.
I tried to tell you last year. Travis Hunter was playing against a glorified G5 team.
Nah, bro, we're not doing
conference.
that.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter is your Heisman Trophy winner.
We knew that.
Who played football? The Heisman Trophy winner goes to the best football player. Travis Hunter was playing football on both sides of
Genty was robbed.
field.
Genty was robbed
for more than actually Travis Hunter. No disrespect, respectfully, but disrespectfully. No disrespect because Charles Woodson's the GOAT. Period. That I'm not even discussing it. But Travis Hunter played more offense by a mile than Charles Woodson played in his Heisman Trophy.
And this is why to me Charles Woodson was more impressive because whenever he hit the field, there's a 90% chance he's getting that ball. With Travis Hunter pretty much playing 2-way, and that's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's an athlete, and to me, he deserved the Heisman, and we was all in agreement except for Kinetic. But Charles Woodson, bro, it's just the guy, he was a game changer. His last season at Michigan will never be forgotten, bro. You're talking, and outing that the team that we had Sam Sword, Glenn Steele, like dudes with names like that, you're not gonna lose a lot of games. I'm just telling you.
Shout out to Mike Legend, man. His phone's dying. We appreciate you, sir. Mike Legend.
Yeah, but Charles Woodson is the GOAT, man. It's
unequivocal GOAT, Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
And might be the GOAT at defensive back in the NFL too. There's no might be. He's the GOAT at defensive back in the NFL.
You're not really going to disrespect the real GOAT, right? Like Tom Brady. Come on, now. That's the GOAT.
Well, Tom Brady's the GOAT, right? Well, I said at defensive back.
Okay,
but certainly Tom Brady was not the GOAT at Michigan.
No,
Tom Brady.
But you know what?
Which is why I say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, because I've seen in the past OSU fans, right, try to really discredit Tom Brady at Michigan, like he didn't do nothing at Michigan. Bro, he has a winning record. Again, at the time, he had to split time with Drew Henson.
Right.
If anyone was watching college football at the time, Drew Henson was the #1 athlete in America. He chose Michigan. He was even drafted by the New York Yankees, right? But he never panned out. So listen, man, they need to chill. Tom Brady did a lot of work at Michigan. Was he a Heisman candidate? No, but he was effing good at Michigan. So look at his last game against Alabama in the Orange Bowl. Bro, he threw for like 4 something. My man Terrell, my man David Terrell went stupid in that game. SEC what?
Right. DJ Tutt says Moore would have drugged Syracuse into a Bama-style ugly game. We would have dropped a whopping 16 points on the Orange, 8 sacks, 22 pressures.
Okay, so real quick, according to Grok, Tom
Davis
Brady
Moore 98 yards.
Tom Brady had 4,773 passing yards in Michigan, 30 touchdowns. And don't forget, again, assuming Grok is correct here, against Alabama in the Orange Bowl, 369 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Against Ohio State, 375 yards in the 98 game. One of the highest single game totals
in 99.
Right. No, I know. But in this game, he had one of the highest single game totals in Michigan history against Ohio State.
Nice.
So that's why they like to say he didn't do anything, because then they can act like that never happened.
Yeah. They always trying to discredit. Yo, put up Frank. There we go. This one.
What's the only player in history to win a Natty, Heisman, Super Bowl, and defensive MVP? That's impressive.
But I am going to say, by the end of his career, JJ will be the GOAT.
Okay.
That is so that's crazy to say right now. JJ hasn't completed an actual pass.
But 10 years from now, 10 years from now, y'all gonna call me up and be like, you know what? Just like you were with Wink Martindale, you were right about JJ.
Wait a minute. If 10, you're right. You are absolutely. I will find you wherever you are 10 years from now. If in 10 years JJ McCarthy has a GOAT resume, then you are absolutely right. And I will bow down and kiss your feet, bro. Mark it down. People in the chat, if in 10 years JJ McCarthy has a GOAT resume, you understand what he would have to have done in 10 years?
Okay.
Win like 5
To be clear, by the end of his career, I was just throwing out a number. But by the end of his NFL career, he will be the GOAT.
Come on.
Whether that's 10 years or 15 years, by the end of his career, he'll be the GOAT.
All right. Listen, and Santa Claus is coming down your chimney December 25th. Hey.
Crazy, bro.
I mean, listen, I'm mostly joking, tongue in cheek, but at the same time, look at the Vikings roster up and down. Well, hold on. Look at the top to bottom of the Vikings roster, and tell me a quarterback who has went into a better situation in his first year starting.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's got a great situation. I'm not.
He's got one of the best offensive lines. He's got T.J. Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. He's got Aaron Jones and Mason.
They got a good team, bro.
So we can agree if he doesn't succeed with all that talent that you just mentioned.
Oh yeah, if he doesn't succeed, it's on him. He has everything possible you could ask for.
So all right, as a rook, what will be his rookie in essence season? What are you expecting?
You talking about stat wise or wins or what?
Yeah,
stat wise and wins. What are you expecting? You expect them to win the Super Bowl this year?
I don't expect him to win the Super Bowl. I expect him to make the playoffs. I expect him to get one playoff win.
Okay. All right.
Stat wise, I would say between 3,700 to 3,900 passing yards, around 30 touchdowns, give or take, around 15 interceptions, give or take.
That's reasonable. That's not crazy. So the Corey, you're right. That is nasty. But what would be nastier is a quarterback having a GOAT resume, considering Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls, right? Like 70,000 passing yards, 500, 600, 700 touchdowns. I don't even know how many touchdowns he had.
No.
Anybody who does that in a 10-year span, unequivocal GOAT. And They should stop playing football after that. No, seriously. The quarterback that puts that resume up in 10 years, there's no reason to play football after that.
Let me put more detail to it. Yeah. I'm saying by the end of his NFL career, he will have a comparable career to the best quarterbacks possible, and he has a better college resume than Tom Brady. So that's why I say he'll be the GOAT.
No,
he'll have a comparable pro. He'll have a comparable pro career to the best NFL quarterbacks in history, including Tom Brady. Comparable, maybe not better, but comparable. Yeah. But when combined with his college accolades, he will be the GOAT.
Absolutely. All right. And I am saying that any quarterback, not JJ McCarthy, anybody who puts up those numbers in 10 years, I'm never watching a football game ever again because I've seen the pinnacle. God played football and got those numbers in 10 years. That's it. It's over. We don't need to watch anything. Jesus has come back to take us all, with him. It's over. It's the second coming right there. If anybody does that in 10 years, that's it. I know that was blasphemous.
Will be the GOAT.
Say a prayer for me.
No, we'll be rooting. No doubt, we'll be rooting for him. He's playing for a talented team in Minnesota. He got weapons. He got one of the best receivers in all of the league, Justin Jefferson. So they should get busy. And what helps him, what's going to help the offense is that he's an athletic quarterback. He can make plays with his leg as well, something Sam Darnold couldn't do. So JJ can be hard to defend, but of course, the NFL is a different animal, and we see how he adjusts with the speed and reading defenses on the NFL level his first season.
Yeah, no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. There's a couple things I need to do, like get back to college football 26. I'm joking. I'm not, but that's not why I'm ending the show. Anyway, though, Kinetic, let the people know where they can find you, what you got going on.
All right. So
hey, wait a minute.
He did a Batman. He quicker than Batman.
Right. Fucking Bruce Wayne over here. What's going on?
All right. So you can find me everywhere at Kinetic615 on all social media platforms. Kinetic615 plays for my gaming stuff. You can find me now over on the new channel, The Gamer Sideline, with our guy Lichamax. And also going to be promoting it this week. Next Monday, we will start with the show. Next Monday, we will kick off the auction for the signed, autographed by jersey by Micah Kapana. It was sent to me directly from Kioki and Micah to raise funds for my GoFundMe. I will open it up for bids next Monday, and it will go over the course of the week across our show, Voice of College Football, Johnny Olden Jr., Darren Talks Ball. It's going to go across all those shows, and will culminate the following week on our show. So keep a lookout.
You got to come earlier, bro. But yeah, definitely we're gonna get that auction going for Kinetic's GoFundMe. Shout out to the Kai Pioneer family. Great thing they're doing there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you could have a piece of history, a signed Micah Kai Pioneer jersey.
Yeah, you can give to a good cause and get a signed jersey from Micah sent directly to me from his family.
Yeah, man, you already know. Go Blue _Maniac _24 on Instagram. That'll lead you to any other platform I have. And also, just like my brother Kinetic just mentioned, man, he need that support. So make sure next Monday you bidding on that jersey, man. That's all we ask.
Yes, sir. Hey, and shout out to DJ Tut. It's a lot of people like DJ Tut, man. Join the chat, man. It's a friendly chat.
Yeah.
We have a good time
insight.
up here.
Yeah, good insight. And he got sense of humor. Watching. We love that. We joke all the time. So
that's all we
shout
do.
To you.
Clearly, Kinetic was joking with GOAT in 10 years. No. All right. Anyway,
shut it down.
Follow me everywhere at Maize Man. And we'll be back sometime this week. I'll be back sometime this week to do something.
Now we got to get out of here and go play some
I should have a better schedule than that. But I'm about to go play college football. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Until next time, you know the slogan: stay angry, my friends. I'm upset.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might be our best season ever. My ratings, they're about to go through the roof.
All right, now I'ma calm down. So I just don't get that all that Maize and that lock and all that. I just don't get it. So. And how the
Oh my God, we're shutting the damn